Most seniors wake up, feel that morning rust in their lower back, and immediately do the most dangerous thing possible. They stretch. They pull their knees to their chest or bend over to touch their toes, thinking they are helping. But if you are over 60, your spine is physically swollen with fluid in the morning. When you stretch that fluid-filled spine, you aren't loosening muscles. You are putting thousands of pounds of pressure on your discs, literally squeezing them until they wear out. Today, I'm going to show you why your morning stretch is a trap and the one micro movement you must do instead to save your mobility. This isn't just a tip. It's about staying out of a wheelchair. To truly understand why that morning stretch is so risky, we need to look at your spine like a precision-engineered machine that has been running for 60, 70, or 80 years. Think about your spinal discs, those cushions between your vertebrae, not as solid pieces of rubber, but as high-pressure sponges. During the day, gravity is constantly pushing down on you. When you walk, sit, or stand, a small amount of fluid is squeezed out of these discs. But at night, the magic happens. While you are lying flat for 8 hours, the pressure is removed, and these discs act like a dry sponge dropped into a bucket of water. They soak up fluid to recharge. This is actually a good thing. It's why you wake up taller. But for a senior, this recharge comes with a hidden danger. In the first 30 to 60 minutes of your day, your spinal discs are at their maximum inflation. They are physically swollen. Now imagine a car tire that is overinflated. If you drive it normally on a flat road, it's fine. But if you hit a sharp curb or try to fold that tire in half, the internal pressure has nowhere to go. It forces the walls of the tire to stretch, weaken, and eventually pop. When you wake up and immediately bend over to touch your toes or pull your knees to your chest, you are doing exactly that. You are taking a high-pressure, swollen disc and forcing it to fold. After age 60, the outer layers of your discs, what we call the annulus, aren't as thick or as flexible as they used to be. Every time you do that aggressive morning stretch, you aren't loosening anything. You are actually creating microscopic fissures or tears in those outer layers. This is the silent grinding of the spine. You might feel a temporary sense of relief because you've stretched the muscles, but deep inside, you've just put your discs under a hydraulic press of pressure. This is how a small ache in your 60s becomes a debilitating herniated disc or a pinched nerve in your 70s. Your body is smarter than you think. That feeling of morning rust or stiffness isn't a mistake. It's actually your muscles acting like a security guard. They tighten up around your spine to prevent you from moving too far while the discs are still swollen and vulnerable. When you try to force a stretch to get rid of that stiffness, you are essentially firing your security guard right when the burglars are at the door. You are bypassing your body's natural safety brake, leaving your spine completely unprotected during the most dangerous hour of the day. Now that we understand the pressure inside your discs, let's look at the 3 most common morning habits that are secretly destroying your mobility. Most people over 60 do these because they were told decades ago that they were healthy, but modern spinal science tells a much scarier story. First, the knees to chest pull. You're lying in bed, you feel that dull ache in your lower back, and your first instinct is to pull your knees up to your chest to open up the spine. On paper, it sounds logical, but remember, your discs are already swollen. By pulling your knees up, you are forcing the lower vertebrae to round out at their maximum pressure point. This is like bending a high-pressure hose until it kinks. You aren't opening the spine. You are squeezing the front of the disc, which pushes the internal fluid toward the back, where your sensitive nerves live. This is exactly how you trigger sciatica before you've even had your first cup of coffee. Second, the sit-up exit. How do you get out of bed? If you sit straight up like you're doing a gym crunch, you are making a massive mistake. For a senior spine, a straight sit-up from a flat position is a disc-crushing movement. It puts a concentrated load on the L4 and L5 vertebrae, the 2 most common spots for surgery in people over 70. When you do this every single morning, year after year, you are literally grinding down the bone. You aren't building core strength in that moment. You are performing a slow-motion injury. Third, the early morning reach. This is when you bend over to pick up the newspaper, feed the dog, or put on your shoes without bending your knees, just minutes after waking up. Because your muscles are still guarded and stiff, they can't protect your ligaments. You are hanging all your body weight on your connective tissues while they are cold and your discs are full. It takes about 30 to 60 minutes for gravity to naturally drain that excess fluid from your spine and make it safe to bend. Doing it sooner is like trying to drive a car at 100 miles per hour before the engine oil has even warmed up. These aren't just bad habits. They are the primary reasons why many seniors lose their independence and end up needing walkers or surgery. You are trading a few seconds of feeling loose for years of structural damage. So, if you shouldn't stretch, what should you do to get rid of that morning rust? The answer isn't a stretch, it's a lubrication movement. We want to move the spine without putting pressure on the discs. We call this the pelvic rocker, and the best part is, you do it while you are still lying in bed, before your feet even touch the floor. Imagine your pelvis is a bowl of water. To wake up your spine safely, you don't want to splash the water out. You just want to create gentle ripples. Here is how you do it. Lying on your back with your knees bent and feet flat on the mattress, you are going to gently, and I mean very gently, tilt your pelvis toward your face, flattening your lower back against the bed. Then slowly tilt it away from you, creating a tiny arch in your back. This is the micro movement secret. You aren't pulling, you aren't straining, and you aren't forcing a range of motion. You are simply flossing the nerves and moving the synovial fluid around your joints. It's like turning the key in a cold engine and letting it idle for a minute before you drive. You are telling your nervous system, it's okay, the safety guards can relax now. Perform this gentle rocking for just 60 seconds. What you'll notice is that the stiffness starts to dissolve naturally. You aren't fighting the body's protection, you are working with it. By the time you sit up, using the log roll method, where you roll onto your side and push up with your arms to protect your lower back, your spine is warmed up and the internal pressure has started to stabilize. This 1-minute habit is the single most important thing you can do for your longevity. It's the difference between a spine that lasts until you are 100 and a spine that gives out in your 70s. You are choosing to be a smart mover instead of a hard stretcher. And for an aging body, smart always beats hard. Now I have one final golden rule for your morning routine. Think of your spine like a high-performance engine. It needs a warm-up period. For the first 30 minutes after you get out of bed, your primary goal is vertical circulation, not flexibility. Instead of bending over to pick things up or starting heavy chores, use this time to hydrate and walk. Walking is the best natural pump for your spinal discs. Each step you take sends a gentle pulse of blood and nutrients to your lower back without the crushing pressure of a stretch. If you can protect your spine during this golden window, that first half hour of the day, you are effectively adding years of independent movement to your life. Remember, aging isn't about the number of candles on your birthday cake. It's about the health of your spinal discs. If you keep them hydrated, protected, and oiled with the right movements, your body will reward you with the freedom to play with your grandkids, travel, and stay active well into your 80s and 90s. I want to hear from you today. Are you someone who has been doing that knees-to-chest stretch every morning? Don't feel bad. Most of us were taught to do exactly that. But now that you know the truth, I want you to try the pelvic rocker tomorrow morning and come back to this video to tell me how much lighter your back feels. Type "I will" in the comments if you are committing to protecting your spine starting tomorrow. If this guide gave you a new perspective on your health, please hit that like button. It tells the algorithm that this life-saving information for seniors needs to reach more people. And if you want to keep your body running like a well-oiled machine, subscribe to the Fit Senior. Thank you for watching, and remember, move smart, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.